Welcome, welcome. Happy half of the day of February the 14th of 2024 of a basically a disappointed Valentine's Day for me as in the Scorpio. Keep in mind that if you like this video, give it a like, give it a comment if you want. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm Zoe Alex. And if you do subscribe, fine. But this is how my day was. I'll tell you the whole entire thing from from the tarot situation because it wasn't very good at all. I've been enjoying about how my Valentine's Day was, and everything seems to be all ship shape and everything has to be fine. But then everything was very very bad, very unpredictable of how it was. And I can see that. I seen it when I was in a cafe shop, and I'm there. I did my shopping as I did, but when I came to the cafe shop, I see some of my friends, and that's fine. And it's Valentine's Day, and everyone has a partner, and everything seems to be, and I'm okay with it. But then I wasn't feeling okay because I thought that I wanted to have someone to play, cards with, right? And it will be something to do, right? Rather than having nothing to do. And you make the time to go fast. Well, several of my friends are trying to, do what they can. And, I'm okay with it. But then I got to a point where other people are decipher what was happening, and I'm getting looked at by so many people that I don't even know, and they can feel sorry how I was, and it's very very disheartening and very un unadequate, whatever it is. And everything has to be very interesting of how it was. And this is not how it seems to be. This is not how pre-understanding of how it was. And it was a very shocking discovery, because I was feeling alone. Now, alone sucks, actually, because you have no friends to hang out with, and they're all busy on Valentine's Day. And, that's how it was. So what I did, I was just having my coffee, enjoying myself, having my breakfast, whatever I had. And then I basically, saying, forget this. I'm gonna go enjoy myself. I'm gonna, you know, take the bus and I'm out. I'm gonna go back home. Now, what's the use about me being there? What's the use? You're talking away, you're having some, have your little friends who don't play cards with you. No, because they like to sit there and chat, 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 chat. And it's basically okay, but I felt very left out actually. When you get to the point of being left out, it's basically saying that, there's a friend who's going to leave that person alone. And once you're in the lonesome, you will get a lot of people to look at you and say, wow, that friend doesn't have any friends with. And, believe me, I've been there, done that so many times, right? Because they will ask me saying, like, other people that we know will say to me saying, hey, where are your other friends? Why they don't want to hang out with you? You look so alone. Well, because they're busy with other things, right? They can't have me all the time. They can't. But in other words, they will eventually. And there are times where I try to keep my, not my temper down or anything like that. No, I just try to figure out that I'm kind of like, people watching, you know, and see what's happening, right? And I get the feeling where, I would have a happy day rather than having a sad day. And you know what? I am feeling a little bit sad, a little bit. Because once you feel emotional, it kind of sucks, and you're trying to believe in your own self that you can do this, right? And it's like an obstacle course, right? You have to go around and do things in order to get, an obstacle. And then you go around it, or you go through it, or you go, you know, up up and over, whatever it is. And it seems to be that. But, when you're at a cafe shop, you just sit there and think. You just sit there and, be all happy, 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 and then your emotions switch from happy to sad to, a little bit angry, a little bit, right? And you get that. Because once you get tormented by your feelings and your emotions, everything can switch from a split second. You know, I've been there so many times, because it's very saddening of what was happening next, because there's always a will and there's a way. I look at it from a different way, okay? I look at what's going on and what's happening, and everything has to be all great. But then you sit back and enjoy yourself, okay? And this is why I'm telling you what was going to be happening before I tell you about the tarot situation. You have to remember that this is a very ongoing, interesting way, okay? And when everything seems to be all great, that's fine. But it happens. Because once you feel left out, yeah, you're feeling left out pretty sure. Because, it's the way of how it is. It's the way of silence, you know, and you get yourself into that state where everything has to be great, but then not really, not your cup of coffee, not your cup of tea, not no. It's the way of how your emotions are, and they do switch. They do, you know. That's why, I only have my drink that I was at my, cafe shop. But really, it's ridiculous, actually. So I know that all my viewers and all my fans are out there and understand how I'm feeling. Is very saddening, very saddening. So this is what I'm going to have for you. Um, I know that we're going to get started with the reading, just how it was, because everything has to be all gray and dandy and what have you. And, there's a way of how this is going to go from a different way. And, this is how it seems to be. So, in order words of how to do this, as a long time interesting way, knowing that this is a very fine lining in how it is, because believe me, if you're a Scorpio and you're feeling like that, it's not good, isn't it? No. So this is what I'm going to tell you what was happening through the tarot situation, what my day was, and how it was all along. Okay? Because once you feel left out, you feel left out, right? And this is how it was. So I will show you the oracle cards. I will show you what's happening. So Scorpio is last 4 men in Scorpios reveal what needs to be seen. So we're going to look at that about how my Valentine's Day was. It was very, disheartening and very, very bad of how it was, because, I would have had a fantastic day, but I came home a little bit early, and, it's the way of how I was seeing it by how it was. So, and then the oracle cards will see how it was, and then you can give this video a like, give it a comment, and then this is how it all began. And maybe the playing cards will, hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades. They all represents the zodiac. Other ones as well, and this is how it seems to be. So further to that, I'm going to look at what's happening You will see the cards as eventually it seems to be. So, this is how it kind of goes because you see it as a wonderful feeling and it's very heartening, very disengaged and very um, very, what's the word, very versatile. But this is why I'm going to tell you about my reading because I need to feel my emotions about what's happening today. And yeah, okay. So this is how it was. So I'm not making this up. I'm not really making this up because it's actually practical and very interesting of how it was and how it was. I'll begin. Okay, so this is what the reading was. So I had the Queen of Wands is upright, so I'm feeling all happy. I can do whatever I want. The Queen of Wands doesn't represent Scorpio, but it kind of represents where I was looking and I was paying attention to other people rather than myself. So the Eight of Wands is reversed, means I was traveling earlier, but now I'm not traveling. The Seven of Wands is like thinking, well, what should I do now? And then the Death card, the Devil, and the Nine of Wands reversed with the Page of Wands reversed and the Death card reversed. Okay, so there's a lot of problems for a Scorpio. Okay, now if you are a water sign, you understand about this. If you're not a water sign, it's okay. You can understand if this was happening to you. But it was a way of how it was. Okay, and not to be mean or rude, but my reading does make sense. Always has, always will. And when you try to clarify, it kind of gives you a wonderful feeling. So let's do the opposites of how it was. This card, this card. Yeah. So we're going to clarify the reverse cards because we're going to see what's happening. So underneath the devil situation for reverse, we have an upright card is the Eight of Wands is upright. Okay, so I was traveling, right? I was having my good time. I was doing okay because right now I'm like staying in my own position about staying home and fine, feeling what was happening. So I was feeling like that. I was feeling like you know how it was. What's opposite of the Eight of Wands? Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles is upright. Yeah, so I was feeling like I was having gifts and having, great of how it was. And, everything has to be all great. Like I was getting gifted, I was getting all, you know, from different friends that, see me for a while and yeah, that's fine. But then it was okay how I was. Like I was getting kind of, you know, understand about how I was being appreciated. And I was being appreciated for a while, you know. I was upset about the Page of Wands reversed. Ah, the Two of Cups reversed. Yeah, because I already found my person. I already found who I was, It was very significant of how it was. Like it wasn't like a third party. It wasn't, I would have someone to be friends with. And this is between friends and, there wasn't very much taking about that. It was just how, you know, un, un unfriendly it was. Um, yeah. What's opposite of the death card? Ah, the Six of Wands is upright. Yeah, because I was feeling, celebrated because, yes, it was Valentine's Day. Yes, I had a great day, but when you're having a great day, everything had to be very disheartening and very bad of how it was. It was the way of how everything has to be all great and, everything seemed to be. What's up? What's also the Nine of Wands? Three of wands reversed. Yeah, yeah. So you know, I wasn't thinking about what was going on. I was thinking like, okay, well, I should never did this again. I should just, relax and have a good time. But then I was thinking to myself and saying, well, if it did happen to me, then what was the use? You know? So now we're going to clarify the three of wands and the two of cups reversed. Now this seems to be all great, okay? And that was fine. This one over here. The Knight of Swords reversed. Yeah, so which means that I don't have any victory. I didn't have any victory because it wasn't good at all. And the Three of Wands is, oh wow. So we have the Knight of Swords that's reversed. We have the Knight, Knave of Swords. Oh, something like that was reversed. Okay, so that's interesting. What's else about that card? What's else about that card? The Nine of Cups is reversed. Yeah, because I was feeling like how it was. And the Four of Wands reversed. Yeah, because I'm not because I'm still enjoying myself, but it was very way of how it was because you see it. You see what it takes. You see how disgusting that sounds. And whether it was seems to be bad and lonesome and you know this is not you know peas and carrots. Like this is not how it was. It was very, how significant it was, because you're trying to have a good day. Once you're having a good day, that's fine. But then everything it was switching. Once it was switching, you think, well, forget this. Once you're being alone and you're feeling lonesome, it kind of sucks, isn't it? Yeah, because what's the use about being at a cafe shop? You have your coffee, you have your breakfast, but you have nobody who's sitting with you and play cards with you or whatever because the time is like going so slow and so slow and so slow until it went fast. But yeah, that was my day. I was like, forget this, I'm out. It's the way of how it was. But we're almost done with this reading. What's else about that card? What's else about that card? The death card that's reversed. Yeah, yeah. And this one, Seven of Swords reversed. Yeah, exactly. Because you can see it as a wonderful way of how it was. So it's about that card. What's else about that card? Oh wow, the Ten of Swords reversed. Yeah, because I wasn't, understanding about how it was. Oh, the Queen of Swords is upright. Yeah, because I could be thinking about how it was, and I'm thinking, yeah, forget this. I'm in for it now. Where I was feeling all happy, and feeling all angry, and it's the way of how it goes, right? It sucks to enjoy about what was happening. You were having a good time, you're having a good outing, and then everything like went kaboom, and it was. So what's else about that card? The Ten of Air is the end of the difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Recovering from an addiction. Yeah, yeah. Basically I was recovering from like not going out as much as I used to. Maybe I was like feeling like how dreadful it was. It was just how disgusting it was. It was very disgusting, you know. It's the way of how everything was and how everything was combining, right? And I'm going to tell you my own truth. I've been there so many times where I had a good time, but then you get the feeling that once I get no recognition and a lot of other people that I don't even know will look at me differently and say, well, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for your loss, or why you have no friends who play cards with you? Why are they sitting, you know, over somewhere and you're sitting by yourself? Can't you sit with them? Like, yes, it would be a good question to ask. Yes, I would answer that. But then you understand about that feeling where, okay, well, if it was me, then yes. But it wasn't my day. It wasn't how it all began and how everything was all significant and how everything seems to be, you know. And this is what was happening because you will see the playing cards as well. Yeah. So, you know, my day wasn't very good, right? And, it was okay, but not really. Because once everything was changing, you think, well, what's going on now? You know? And it happens. It happens for a reason. Everything does change, yes, but that's all I'm going to say. And if you feel how it was, so be it. Because there's a time and there's a place where everything will switch from a split second. You know, if it happens to you, if you're a Scorpio, you can feel how left out I was. Being left out is a bad feeling because you don't know what to do next. You don't know, right? And it's very disheartening because all you can think about is what's going to happen now. Because if you're being unappreciated, if you're not being, unrecognized, and all your friends will think to me saying, wow, I guess Zoe Alex is feeling very sad. Yeah, you thought so. And, it's the way of how it was. Yes, this reading is kind of okay, but now I'm thinking about it that it's a very trying situation for me. And, it's the way of how it was. Like I'll tell you about the oracle cards as well. And there are four of them because my day was like that, and I'll show you the playing cards as well. So I'll tell you the first one is perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Yes, I I did that. I went out, I did some shopping, I enjoyed myself about, you know, having a good pair of, sunglasses that I got. And that's fine. And I was happy about that. And it's okay. You're not feeling happy for that. The second card is grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. You know, it happens, right? See, when I told you about this reading, I was all happy, right? But when I told you about how saddening it was, feeling left out, feeling unappreciated, feeling unrecognized, it basically telling me what was happening. It wasn't a inside joke. It wasn't a inside way of how it was. But you get the feeling where when you have grief and nobody appreciates, nobody acknowledge, giving you, the silent treatment or giving you unrecognized or whatever, and you're being left out, you're being alone, it's a saddening. It's very sad because once you get into an opportunity where it's heartbreaking, yeah, it is, right? Yeah. And the next card is worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Yeah. So I was worried about how it was because I was worried that, losing about, seeing your friends and now you don't see them anymore or, you know, it's the way of how it was, you know. It's the way of how everything was, you know, very, very unappreciated because, in other words, you have to identify of what was happening. And I do see it. I do see it in many ways, but that's all I can say because perseverance, grief, worry, so be it, isn't it? And yes, you can feel my emotions if you want to while you're watching this video, but it's saddening. It really is saddening. It might make you cry for a few seconds, but when you're sitting alone at a table and you only, you know, had a good time, and then all of a sudden you left the facility as the building, and then you think, well, it's Valentine's Day. I guess I'm not feeling loved or I was being unfairly. So it's like you see it as a different situation, different. In the last oracle card that I'm going to read you is failure. I understand that mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Actually, yeah, yeah, it was. It was a mistake for me to be down there at the cafe shop because what's the use about me going down there? Like you get your coffee, you get your food, you're just like a normal customer, and you walk out, right? If I had a happy day, fine. I'll play cards with one of my friends, and yeah, that's fine. But now, what you can do, you know, if you are being untreated fairly, and you're being mistreated, you know, miscommunication or whatever. Whenever I kept saying things you must learn, I am learning. But when you get the urge of, getting stared at, being alone, yeah, it's very kind of bad, and that's how it is. So before I let you all go, Pay attention if this happens to you for a Scorpio. If you're a Scorpio, I understand that. But here's the thing. The Four Hearts represents Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Queen of Clubs represent Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Last one, Eight Hearts, is Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Thank you, because that's how I have for you. I hope this reading helps you, and that's how it goes. So I know it gets that feeling, but that's what it seems to be. So give this video a like, give it a comment, and this is how I have for you. I hope this reading helps you because that's how I have for you. Because if you look at the reading right now, you look at how it was. So you see it as a different way, okay? And that's what I have for you. So give this video a like, give it a comment, and I'll see you next time. So you know how kind of is saddening, but that's how it is. So thank you very much. Enjoy your day, and thank you, and thanks. Bye for now. Really, bye.